Peace and blessings, community. I'm super excited because you guys know that I'm forever looking for amazing women to connect with here in this Red Tense community, and specifically with the Beyond the Baby Bump podcast. But today's segment is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be introducing a bomb sister of mine that I have just recently met on Facebook, and we've been really building and connecting. And I'm excited to bring her to our community. I feel like she has a lot to offer, and as you know, this red tint and a lot of the content that we have been putting out as of lately has been around yoni steaming and womb healing. But in the same time, we like to work on the woman from the beginning to the end. And so this is one of those sisters that is helping women to birth babies into the world on a continual basis. And I'm super excited because she's getting ready to launch her first course on our site, TheWombniverse. And it's something that I feel like is going to be an amazing asset to our community, and that you will be able to learn a lot of tips and tricks from her and the experience that she has had with birth, with being a doula, with being a mother, with, of course, breastfeeding her children. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Chale. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah. Like you said, we kind of just connected on Facebook. I think I saw something you might have posted, or you saw something I posted, in a group or something like that. And it's just kind of been history, the rest is history, as they say.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm Chale. I'm the owner founder of Mama Makwa Services. And so, like Hadina mentioned, I have 4 children. I have had all of my children at home, but only the first was midwife assisted. I have since had my other 3 children unassisted or free births. I don't necessarily like to use the word unassisted because I'm not completely alone, right? It's very family centered, family led birth. That's what I'm all about. My partner's there, our other kids are there. We've had other family members who are there for whatever reason at some point or other. So it's very much a community thing. And that's kind of my role and my mission with everything that I do is decolonizing birth and bringing
Mm-hmm.
these lost and stolen, unfortunately, so many of these things have been intentionally taken and hidden from us, right? Or taken and being sold back to us, right? So that's really part of my journey is reclaiming these practices because they're for us, they're for the people. And so I try to make them as practical as possible, though, right, for the modern family. Like we can thank our ancestors and we can build and learn on these traditions and rituals as well to incorporate them into our lives now. I think that's really important. Like we don't have to necessarily keep tradition very staunch or rigid, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can
Mm-hmm.
I think holistic medicine kind of teaches you that you can be flexible and adaptable, right, to each person and their needs. So that's kind of the approach that I come with. So I offer support for the entire womb spectrum continuum of the childbearing years, from fertility and fertility awareness, through pregnancy, postpartum, and lactation. I'm a certified community breastfeeding specialist, and I also have a certificate as a PALE advocate, which is specifically trauma informed awareness on pregnancy and
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's really near and dear to my heart. My mom had a miscarriage. I have a sister who lost a baby, third trimester. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a very close friend. It's something that affects 1 in 3 women. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
1 in 3 women either have an abortion or lose a baby, at some
Yeah.
point. So, and, not all pregnancies end in a live baby. So pregnancy is, it's a miracle, and it's amazing, but we should also be sensitive and aware of those outcomes and how to effectively support those people, right? A lot of times those people just kind of fall through the gaps because people don't know what to say or
Mm-hmm.
they know how to show up for the like they're so excited for the baby and then they come home without their baby, right? For whatever reason. Um, so yeah, so it was really important to me to learn how to do that, and it's been a really eye-opening journey, but it's also shown me that Postpartum is forever, and everybody,
Mm-hmm.
if you've been pregnant, even if you don't have a live baby, right? You're postpartum. You were pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
not, and that makes you postpartum. And so we should treat everybody, no matter what stage you released or ended the pregnancy, right? Everybody should be using the same protocols and
Yes.
care, which includes yoni steaming. That is an amazing tool, and I'm so excited to learn more because I used it as a personal practice, but I, really want to learn how to be a facilitator and start incorporating that in how I'm also supporting other women. Um, yeah, so that's kind of me. I'm also a huge baby wearing advocate. You'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely see me with a baby or two strapped on me at some point. If you see me out and about in the world, I've got at least one or two of them on me. It's been such a great tool to learn. It's something our ancestors gave us that,
Yes.
they're really cute. Like one, I'm obsessed with all of the beautiful prints of different wraps and carriers out there. And there are so many different types of wraps and carriers nowadays
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
there really is one for every person, right? Or every family. Like I know folks who their husbands have a carrier, or their partner or grandma has one, right? That she keeps at her house or in her car, right? When she has baby. So it's a great tool for everybody, right? Like not just
Yes.
or the birthing parent has to be the one to wear the baby. It's a great tool for everybody. Like my older kids will wear the newborns, or the baby. So it's really great. It's wonderful. That's something that I really love, holding baby wearing circles and getting people together to learn a new skill or show wraps and that kind of thing. So I've collected a little bit of a lending library, so people like local close to me um, can try them out basically. So it's just like a 12-month membership, and you can take home a different carrier every month if you want.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, it's nice. Like I
That's
said,
so cool.
I've got a nice range, a nice selection. So I can, if somebody needs it, right, they could just join the membership for 12 months and have different wraps or carriers that they need for the different stages, right, without necessarily having to buy them. So yeah.
I love that. So baby wearing has been something that I stand by. Uh, when I was a little girl, my godmother wore me on her back. So,
Yeah.
from my African roots, we baby carry on our back. And it has been one of the most transformational things for me because as a little girl, I can remember being carried like that. But then when I had my daughter, I, of course, wore her all of the time. And then my foster children, when I took them in, I wore them. And it was just like, if you know me, I'm always walking with a cotton cloth in my bag that I'm getting ready to strap a baby on with, and we're getting ready to do
Yeah.
this. Like, oh, I gotta sweep the floor. Oh, I gotta vacuum. Oh, I gotta wash the dishes. Oh, I gotta do laundry. The baby's on me. So I'm a really big baby wearing advocate too. And it just allows peace of mind for mom and peace of mind for baby as well, without baby getting necessarily used to being carried the same kind of way in the hands. First of all,
Right.
you have to be set still, for you to be able to hold baby 24/7 in your arms. But at the same time, it allows them to have the comfort that they need to hear the heartbeat, to be that close to you, smell your scent, all of those good, lovely things that baby loves when they first come out. Even up until toddlers, because 2 years old, I'm going to strap you on my back and we're going to keep it
Yep.
moving anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
there is no end
Yeah.
to that. Um,
Absolutely. I love to tell
yeah,
moms that it counts as tummy time too, right? Because that's
yeah.
always such a concern in this country anyway, right? Is baby getting enough tummy time, right? Are they developing and hitting their milestones? So that's something I love to tell people. I'm like, baby
Mhm.
wearing is tummy time. It
It
stimulates
sure
them
is.
and helps them develop their muscles and movement, balance, coordination, all of that stuff in the same exact way. So yeah.
It does. So I'm going to switch the conversation a little bit because what I'm super excited about introducing to the community and of course shining the light on today is your brand new course that you're bringing onto the WOMBNIVERSE. For those who don't know, Yoni Love Herbals does has an online learning platform and community for women, and it's called the WOMBNIVERSE, and we recently launched it in 2022. I gotta make sure I'm doing the numbers right. 2022, we launched
Yeah.
it, and it's now available to any of our community members who have joined the WOMBNIVERSE or joined Yoni Love Herbals. Is open to you. But one of the super exciting things that we launched in January was the ability for other business owners and other women who feel like they have something to offer to the community, because this religion is all about building a huge network of women, so none of us have to adult and be a woman alone in this life, right? So Chale is our first instructor that's going to be coming on and teaching, and she has a lactation specialist course that she has just put up onto the site, and I'm super excited about that. So I'm going to let her explain all of the things that she wants to tell you. Those, I mean, of course, you can't get the whole thing. You can only get a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? You got to go check it out. But all the information for you to be able to check it out will be down in the description box below, and you will be able to also catch it at the end of the podcast. If you're listening to that aspect of Beyond the Baby Bone podcast, you'll be able to hear all of it in the Cliff Notes. So without further ado, jump into it, sis. Tell us a little bit about your lactation course, and what I guess, what was the passion behind sharing? Yeah, or how you got started, I should say, and then of course, what made you start sharing.
Yeah. Lactation, I think breastfeeding has always been a normal part of my life. I'm really grateful to my mom that she normalized that for us. She breastfed all of us into toddlerhood, right? We kind of self-weaned as we got older, right? Kind of as the next baby came in, right? I'm also from a big family, so it was just kind of like as the next baby, as she had the next baby, then we kind of just, weaned ourselves and became the big sibling. So I grew up seeing that, and I always, like assumed, I was just like, well, that's how I'm going to feed my baby one day. Right. So like I said, it was just really normal for me. And then actually becoming a mom, right, meeting other moms and talking to people about their experiences and hearing all of the misinformation that a lot of people have or are being told
Mm-hmm.
and given.
Mm-hmm.
That really kind of sparked a fire under me. I think that's something I'm really passionate about, is giving people the truth, right? The real
Mm-hmm.
information so that they can make the best choices for themselves, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't say what's best for someone and their family or their baby, right? Like I don't know your situation, your medical history, trauma. I don't necessarily know any of that. Um, so um it's it's really unfortunate that people don't have the information they need, right, to make these big choices in life, right, like around birth and breastfeeding and things like that. So that was really like a big spark for me. And then so I kind of joined like a couple of support groups, when I first started having kids. And then like took a course myself, right, on being a peer lactation consultant. And I've just kind of been snowballing from there. So I was able to get a scholarship when we moved to Kansas. Their state breastfeeding coalition is incredible. I can't say enough great things about the
Oh,
Kansas.
that's amazing.
So every year they offer scholarships, to people looking to become IBCLCs, lactation consultants in the community, especially right in Black and Brown communities. So I was able to get a scholarship to take a class so that I can start my IBCLC journey, because that is years long, right? That's an international board certified
Mm-hmm.
lactation consultant. So that's the end goal, right? So I'm just at the beginning of my journey with it, but part of taking my initial clinical courses was creating a lactation course, right, to offer to people. So, so we got to, with all the information that we learned and learning how to help people, I got to make a class. And then I met you and we got to talking and you were like, well, why don't you, like if you want to, then let's share your class with the world. And I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think we
Yeah.
should, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm really excited to bring this back. Like I said, it's called Reclaiming Lactation and Milk Medicine. Because those are things that I really believe in, is that a lot of Black women don't come from families that were like mine, right? Where breastfeeding was normal.
Yeah.
Um, and they don't have the support and they don't have the education. Um, and my class is geared not just towards birthing parents, it's geared towards couples, families, whatever your family looks like, if that's mom, dad, grandpa, auntie, uncle, sister, cousin, whoever is helping you on this journey can take the class with you and also get this information to help you on your breastfeeding journey, right? And whatever your breastfeeding goals are. If it's just 6 months, great. How can we get you to those 6 months? If it's 2 years,
Right.
awesome. How do we get you to 2 years breastfeeding, right? With whatever's going on in your life. So yeah, so I hope that it's helpful. I hope that people are able to take away great information, like prenatally before they even have baby. I'm hoping that baby people are interested in taking it, like I said, who aren't even necessarily having a baby. Maybe they have a sister who's, giving birth and they want to help her. Something like that. Maybe other birth workers, can learn something from it as well. Yeah. I truly believe milk is medicine. And that people,
Absolutely.
so yeah.
When I had Rukaya, I was hell bent on nursing her to 2 years because in Islam, we were taught like 2 years, and then you suckle your child for 2 years and then you wean, they wean off. So I was hell bent on that. And then after having my daughter, I got sick at like 4 months and the gynecologist, and I just had a regular cold, was like, oh, you shouldn't keep on breastfeeding her. You could get her sick and blah, 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 blah. And I wish that I freaking knew what I know now about the fact that your body makes those antibodies and that, in fact, you don't pass on the ailment to the child in the breast milk and that the body creates its own defense for that and actually gives those good nutrients to the baby. And I wish I would have known that. Like I wish that the journey that I went on after having my daughter and learning about the natural birth and even getting into the free birth world because I've helped several sisters in the community have a free birth, and just be there as a support system to them. That's part of what I feel is really my calling. I wish I would have known all of those things and gotten a chance to do it. And I understand that I had to go through the journey that I had to go through in order to be able to help other women who also have gone through a journey like me because it is a lot of times like my mom, I grew up with her, also nursing, me and my brother. But the unfortunate part is that a lot of women of color do not have that experience and are looking for ways to be able to start the journey, but they're just a little bit unsure about some things or they have some hesitancies or they're nervous or, whatever. And so when I saw that you had that course, I felt like it was a perfect thing to introduce to the community because just the slightest bit of misinformation can really prevent you from really going down a road that you really wish that you would be able to achieve in like breastfeeding. It's a beautiful thing, whether it's for a day, whether it's for 6 months, whether it's for 2 years. It doesn't matter. It's a beautiful thing for us to be able to do as women and to be able to offer our children. But a lot of times we have to feel empowered as the mom and as the woman that is going down that journey. So I just felt like it was something that we really needed to bring to the forefront of the community and just really help more moms to gain more awareness and understanding of the process. And I felt like your course, really covered all of the bases from learning about what is breastfeeding all the way down to, the ins and outs of positions and things like that. So let me ask you, what is one common myth or misconception that you think women hear a lot that is something that you want them to know that's not the case or something that you wish would be clarified more in the breastfeeding realm? Um,
So
yeah.
a big one that we hear a lot is waiting for your milk to come in. That's um so I really get into it in the class, right? Like on the hormonal level and what's going on with you. But essentially, you have breast milk during your pregnancy. You start creating it during the second trimester. And once you have baby, then your body starts creating mature milk. So it's all milk. Colostrum is the early milk, right? That's available. when your baby's a newborn. And that phrase, right, waiting for your milk to come in, it's just not exactly right? Because a lot of women think they don't have milk, that their baby's getting nothing, right, suckling, because colostrum is really thick and sticky. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard to pump. It's very hard to like externally, right,
Mm-hmm.
extract. Even hand expressing. I've had extreme difficulty hand expressing
Me
colostrum.
too.
It's not easy, and it's not meant to be expressed like that, right? It's
Right.
meant for your newborn to coat their insides, to coat their stomach, right, as newborns to help them adjust to this new world. And so they're only supposed to be getting that little bit at a time until you're mature. It's your mature milk, right? That's what I always try and emphasize. It's not that there's not milk there, it's just a different type of milk. Your milk just changes composition.
Mm-hmm.
And what helps to trigger that is feeding your baby often and early, as on demand, right? On
Mm-hmm.
demand feeding is what's going to help that mature milk, that you want, to come in, so that your baby's getting all of that extra good fats and proteins, and some women will see this change happen within 48 hours. For some women, it takes 5 to 6 days. It really depends on your birth, on your own medical history, hormonal issues possibly. It depends on a lot of things. If maybe baby's in NICU, or, there's a lot of things that affect right, your milk transitioning. So it's okay if it doesn't immediately, right, if it doesn't happen on that second or third day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, maybe it's coming, maybe we can do some things to help this process along, right? And so that's kind of what my class gets into. But that's a big one that I hear all the time. I actually did a myth busting like series on my Instagram. So if you go look on my grid, you can check that out. I think I did like 5 or 6 common, lactation.
Where can the community follow you on Instagram and
Yeah.
on Facebook? Please tell us.
Yeah, on Instagram, I'm just Mama Makwa. That's Makw. It's Ojibwe for black bear. That's my oldest son. And he, was who initiated me
I
into
love it.
motherhood. I always tell the story of I had a dream about a little black bear cub. And then
Mm.
shortly after I knew that I wanted to do a home birth and wanted a midwife. And we went and we interviewed with this midwife. And as we were walking out of her gate, she had a sign on the gate that said bear crossing. I kid you not. And when I asked her
What? I
about
just
it,
got chills.
she said, that's always been there. She was like, it came with the property. Like she didn't put it there, and it's always been there, she said. And
Mhm.
so that was our sign.
Little signs and synchronicities. Yes.
Yeah,
That
that was
just
our
tells you
sign.
like it's like spirit guiding every little step, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can find me at Mama Makwa on Instagram, and Mama Makwa Services on Facebook. So that's where I post a lot of content about just my life and how I kind of parent, do life, raise my kids. It's where you find updates about my in-person, like meetups and my baby wearing circles, things like that. So if you're local near me in Kansas, you can come and check that out. Yeah, I'd be really excited to connect with you. I respond to DMs, or messages if people want to
Yes,
reach
she
out,
does, and very quickly.
So, yeah, I try to be responsive if people have questions, that sort of thing. So I'm, always happy to help and point people in the right directions. I'm always telling people there are resources out there. There's information out there. I have been self-taught for a very long time, because that information is out there. The library is probably one of the greatest resources. You can find amazing books if you want to, but especially with the internet nowadays, like there's so much free information out there. So
Yeah, it is.
if you know what you're looking for. So, and that's what I hope, like you said, this course can empower people with information so that when they're maybe presented with some challenges or roadblocks, they, maybe they can, like, be able to educate people as well. I really hope that this information becomes mainstream,
And you brought up a good point before where you mentioned that even if it's not the birthing parent that is getting the course, that perhaps someone like the family member or like the bridal shower gift, especially if you know that a mom is like on that path of trying to understand breastfeeding. I think it's really important that we know like it doesn't have to just be you who is expecting. Sometimes it's the smallest little impact that you can make for another mom that is getting ready to go into that journey. Like I know for myself, the doula clients that I have, I'm going to be giving the like I'm going to be gifting them your course as a way for them to like really understand the breastfeeding aspect of coming into motherhood, or I should say parenthood, because not everybody identifies as a mom in, you know, in today's times. But the point is us being able to extend the information to anybody who needs it, and being just conscious of the fact that there are women around who are searching for the information. So even if it's not you necessarily, community that is needing the information, that you can pass it on to a mother or to an expecting individual that you know will be able to utilize the information. Is there anything else that you want to share with us about your course or that you feel is important before we end?
It takes a village, you know, it really does, not just for the baby, but for mom, for the parents.
Yes.
I think we see a lot of parents in this nuclear family dynamic, right, for whatever reason. And we're really seeing the effects of that. And then the nuclear family ain't it. You know, like I think multi-generational living is where it's at. That's something that my partner and I are aiming for. We're not there yet. But you know, we do really want to have a big enough space for you know, for all of our family to live close enough to each other to support one another
Yes.
in ways that really matter, right? Um, and obviously that can be chosen family, that can be blood family. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we see a lot of people who are doing this and making their like chosen families and chosen communities right now, because we need that. You know,
Yes.
people are
Yeah.
really seeking that that kind of support. And yeah, like that, you know, so I hope this course can be something that like the whole family can watch together, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about you know, expecting a baby, you know, like you said, maybe people are adopting or fostering a newborn and this is their first time with a new baby, right?
Yeah.
I do go over how to bottle feed, you know, as well in my course. Like there is not one way to feed a baby. So no, so I do talk about alternative feeding methods and nursing positions, and I go over, you know, multiple scenarios and dynamics, you know, that might work for different families. So I hope there's a little something for everyone in it. Yeah.
And even a concept that, you know, in today's society is really growing popularity, even for the concept of um like purchasing milk for those moms who are not, you know, producing themselves. Some
Right.
moms are buying breast milk and actually utilizing that to feed babies. So there's so many different variations out here. And I feel like, you know, this is just one of those stepping stones to us really opening up the conversation about breastfeeding and being aware of all that comes along with it, and just making open to the community what I feel like has been closed and what has been gate kept in some senses up until this point. So I'm super excited that you came on, and I do truly believe that it takes a village to raise a child, and shoot, even to help women. That's why we have the Red Tent. That's why I created this organization, because it literally takes a village for us as moms and as women, and you know, just feminine energy to be able to keep on every day like we're doing ourselves, to be able to carry the rest of everything else for the family. So thank you again for coming on. Community, if you are interested in connecting with Chale at any point of this path that we are on and on this journey, and to find out more about her course, you can find all the information down in the description box below, and as well you will find the links to all of her social media. I thank you again for coming on, and peace until next time.
Thank you.